from Charlotte, North Carolina, at a combined weight of over 660 pounds, Rody Rob, Adam Bomb, Bionic Brian, the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast.
And welcome to episode 500 and something of the Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. I am your host tonight, Rody Rob. I am joined on my flanks by Adam to the Bomb and Bionic Brian.
Yeah, Rob, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, Brian, where are you at?
I'm in Tulsa right now. Yeah.
Did you have trouble finding a seat?
Yeah, you're never allowed back in this studio.
Why? What do you mean?
Well, it probably got COVID.
Yeah.
That's not definite. Well, can
So
you hear me?
how long did you wait for a seat?
Well, I didn't wait for a seat. I bought one, so I wanted to sell it when I was online. I was there. I got to Tulsa
check the tape. You don't buy them, you reserve them.
Well, I bought one. I got it on Craigslist from a guy named Octavio. But anyway, what? So I got
Was he an octopus?
No, but it's packed in here to the gills, fucking wall to wall, just people, a sea of people.
Why are you acting like you're talking?
So no, he's just trying to get it closer to
Can
his
you
ear.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay.
We can hear you just fine. Stop
All right,
holding your earpiece.
I'll lay off.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
So look, as is life, we all go through roller coasters of emotion, and this show is no different. I'm going to give a little disclaimer here, a little little pre-talk before we jump into it. Usually we come on here and we react to professional wrestling, and we talk about what happens in the ring and the storylines, and sometimes we use it to escape the rigors of our everyday lives and the all the trauma that's going on in this world. And we've been doing that for the past few weeks. Tonight, we're going to get into some Raw down later towards the end of the show. But we're going to have some conversations tonight, just as three guys talking to those who are listening. And we have a platform, and I don't care if it's one person or 10 people or 100 people or however many. I have a platform, and we're going to use that platform tonight to talk about things. And we're going to get into the it's going to be a roller coaster tonight.
You want to introduce everybody before you get into meat and potatoes?
Okay, go ahead.
All right, I'm Adam Bomb,
Yeah,
by the way.
you introduced him.
No, I introduced both of y'all.
And that's Bionic Brian
No, he
in
introduced me.
Tulsa.
I don't think
Yeah, you didn't introduce me. Check the tape.
Check the tape.
On the board, we have Sealer Stout, Evan Wright, Bus is here, Stike is back, Jay is here, DP Perfect 11. Those are just the big names coming up here, but we got a lot showing up.
All right, so I can't breathe. I have my ID right here. My name is Elijah McClain. That's my house. I was just going home. I'm an introvert. I'm just different. That's all. I'm so sorry. I have no gun. I don't do that stuff. I don't do any fighting. Why are you attacking me? I don't even kill flies. I don't eat meat. I don't judge people. I don't judge people who don't eat meat, who do eat meat. Give me. All I was trying to do was become better. I will do it. I'll do anything. Sacrifice my identity. I'll do it. You are all phenomenal. You are beautiful. And I love you. Try to forgive me. I'm a mood Gemini. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Oh, that really hurt. You're all very strong. Teamwork makes the dream work. I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to work. I wasn't trying to do that. I just can't breathe correctly. That was the words. That was the words of Elijah McClain, a young man that was killed by the police walking to his home. Elijah McClain, one of his hobbies that he liked to do was to go to the pound and play his violin for kittens. Played his violin for kittens. We're going to talk about all the stuff going on in wrestling with hashtag speaking out, and we're going to try to lighten the mood. But this has got to stop. This has got to stop. And for those of you who are resisting this changing, You are the problem. And that young man can never play another song for a kitten because you defend the very thing that took his life. I'm sorry I brought you down. But it's important that we say his name. Elijah McClain. Okay. Well, that was probably a bad choice since we were going. I'm sorry.
That was really...
Yeah, I was going to go into the fuck that up. Okay, let's talk about everybody. Bring the mood up. Sorry about that. Sorry. That song clip was supposed to be for our next segment, which was all about hashtag speaking out.
Hey,
the great reckoning here.
We should have split it.
Yeah. Yeah, we should have done that in the middle. So forgive me for that. That was poor taste. Okay, so let's talk about wrestling. The wrestling world has been rocked today. And this week.
Past week.
Yeah, this past week has been rocked today. And some people are obscure, and some people are top of the food chain, and some people are never would have been. So
some have very bright futures that may have been dashed.
Exactly right. And we're going to talk about that tonight. So Brian has provided us, he has a little full list. It's like how many people?
I didn't see how many total, but I mean I've heard
we're going to talk about
close to 70, but I mean we're not going to go through all of them.
We're going to focus on 7 or 8 of them.
Okay.
The bigger ones and the ones that we kind of have a lot of, there's a lot of, some of them even have come forward and admitted a lot of the allegations that are against them. So
Do
we want to start with one of them, like Gallagher, who came out?
Well, see, okay,
and
let's get that one away. So what was this? What was, because I know a lot of things are going on, but I am so consumed with everything else in the world that I haven't seen all of the details.
But Gallagher, Brian, correct me if I'm wrong, was one of the ones that admitted to it after he was.
He did, and that's kind of the reason why WWE was just so quick with fucking just getting rid of him, severing ties. I mean, they're giving him the I mean, everyone's calling it the Benoit treatment. They're kind of just erasing him from everything. It's almost as if he wasn't even in WWE.
So what? I mean, was his assault?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I mean, I have it right here. So this is what the girl is saying. She says, Jack asked me to sit on his lap. I said, Jack asked me to sit on his lap, I said. He then sat on my lap and made advances. The entire time I expressed that I was uncomfortable, but I also didn't want to make a scene. Kind of one of those ones where he was pressing forward.
Yeah.
And she tried to, she claims that to have resisted his advances, but then when she tried to push him off, he grabbed onto her, and then this caused her to kind of like reach up her skirt, and so yeah, I mean, we shouldn't get into all these. Basically, he's a piece of shit.
No. I mean, I'm not saying we need to glorify the details, but
Right.
I mean, some of this, the reason that these people are being shined in such a negative light, and some people, I don't think I'm out or speaking out, for the three of us here. But when the details come out, if you still kind of support the other side of these things and say, oh, it's just, that's a guy thing or something like that.
Yeah.
That's why I think the details are important to make sure that anybody who thinks that this is minor, who thinks that this is no big deal, understands the true ramifications of it. I'm not trying to glorify it.
Right. No, look, we can all say as men, and especially men that are, we're in our 40s, Brian's in his 30s, so probably more so us than Brian. Brian's generation was a little bit more sensitive to things.
Sure.
As a rule. Our generation is a little bit more raw, right? Not as raw as our parents, but a little bit more raw than Brian. And there's a lot of cases tonight that you hear about the allegations, and I think back to my 20s and think, fuck, I'm in that boat. These are things that either I did or I came close to doing,
Right.
but, my mindset was never predatory, right? So at first glance, some of these...
Just FYI, speak for yourself. I don't think that I...
Okay. All right. I was a big target.
I just don't want you to put me in that group because
Okay.
I know I don't like women's wrestling, but I'm not guilty of these things.
Yeah, well, no, I'm not guilty of these things either.
Well, then I'm going to say I'm not either.
If you would have let me finish my sentence.
Okay, well, I was just making sure.
No, just make sure you let me finish my sentence. How about that?
Felt like you threw me off.
No, I'm just saying. So at first glance, you look at these things and you think, oh, I can mount a defense, on their side.
Yeah.
And then you hear more.
Right.
And then you're like, no. And you hear more. And then you realize that this is a culture in the business.
Or the severity of what it is. Too.
I'm not saying I ever. Go ahead.
And so this is supposed to allegedly this took place New Year's Eve 2014. Jack was trying to. He was, pouring just a shit ton of booze into her cup, really trying to push himself onto her. And then he actually did. She was saying that he wouldn't take no for an answer. I mean, she wrote like a whole big fucking thing on her Twitter, and I mean, I don't know. A lot of people are also saying they're like, well, it happened in 2014. Why?
No. Fuck that.
I know, that's what I'm saying.
The time of the year that it happened does not matter.
It's irrelevant.
Even if there is
matter.
a legal expiration on that, that doesn't change anything.
No,
it doesn't change anything. And there are a couple other people on the list, that we'll get to, but Gallagher coming forward and admitting to this, good for him to own up to it.
Yeah.
Still fucking shitty that it happened, but at least there's not going to be a whole drawn out he said, she said, is this woman going to be character tarnished or whatever?
Right.
He's at least supporting the fact that her character, a lot of these people, Trump would be one that comes to mind, would instantly defame the character and go against the allegations and stuff like that. Because this person is not trying to get famous. They're not. I mean, they're just coming forward.
And let me correct myself.
They're a cruiserweight NXT wrestler. It's not like they're fucking breaking box offices.
Right.
Gallagher, he hasn't said anything actually publicly. But
he didn't.
No, but for WWE to, just completely do this like that quickly,
he had
I
to
feel
say,
like
I did it.
There had to have been some sort of conversation, or
that was immediate. That was fucking.
Right. There had to have been or witnesses or something. Like they know more about it than they're letting on.
All right. So Gallagher is gone.
Done.
Out. All right. So
out.
We have other big ones. I know Brian. I want to jump on the one that I think you're most disappointed about.
Yeah.
And that's Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan, man. I mean, there's like close to a dozen instances. I mean, talk about other female workers. Just anyone involved in the wrestling scene. I mean, there's just a lot of people that are coming forward that they have all similar.
He has such a
instances.
Sexual gimmick and all of that. Like,
it's kind of so obvious.
It's crazy that
are we that surprised? Like his whole thing is touch my junk.
I know, but it was just a gimmick. But that's what
I
said
know
before.
it's just
I'm
a
like,
gimmick. But
no, I'm not defending it at all. I'm just saying, like, how
I'm not
was
shocked
I so
that it
blind?
goes beyond the kayfabe.
Right, and I'm not the only one. I mean, I know he had a big following. He had his own promotion. He had Bar Wrestling, which they totally deleted Twitter. He deleted his Twitter. Pro Wrestling Tees took his store down.
Damn.
BTE, the Bucks, they pulled all the episodes that involved him because he was a pretty big character at one point in time on their YouTube series. So,
and I don't think any of this is an underreaction either.
No, not at all.
No.
And one of the questions too that I had was, well, Candice LeRae was his tag team partner for a while. So what about her? And she actually came forward.
Tweeted.
She did. She put a tweet out essentially just saying that she had absolutely no idea. She's fucking disgusted. If you want to go check it out, I mean, go look at it. But
right.
I mean, that was my question. I'm like, well, I wonder if but I mean, I'm glad that she actually said something and addressed it. But yeah, man, Joey Ryan. I mean, I was one of the ones that always kind of came to his defense. I'm like, well, it's just a fucking gimmick. Like, he's trying to be sleazy. He's got the oil. Yeah, I get it. And I mean, also like the way he just portrays himself. He's a big champion of the independent wrestling scene. So for that, I'm always behind him for that. But this is inexcusable. You can't fucking.
I mean, some of these people on the list.
Fucking get him out of here.
Yeah, a lot of these people on this list, should be not just gone from their current promotion, not just forced to shut down. Be like gone.
Well,
gone.
Get away.
And so that's going to bring me to a perfect segue to the one that I think there could be debate on the board or amongst wrestling fans in general on. At first glance, until you look one step deeper, is Sammy Guevara.
Got to peel that onion because that's why I was saying the details of this are important, Rob.
So here's the one, Sammy Guevara, where I was ready to defend him, not the action. Right? I was going to say what he said about raping Sasha is indefensible, but
even in jest.
Yes, it's wrong even in jest. But as we talked about, Brian, this is unfortunately that kind of locker room talk that can happen,
right?
Where you knew that your friend wasn't going to be, aggressively pursuing this. You knew he was just didn't know how to fucking speak, and he was an idiot, and that's how he said shit.
But even so, like the
No,
locker
yeah.
room talk where you say, "Oh, I want to fuck her." That's That's an entirely different.
Yeah, it's still inappropriate. And
Well,
that's,
yeah, you
it's
shouldn't
still
say that
in a-
either.
it's one of those moments with friends where I would probably look at him and go, dude, fucking seriously. But I wouldn't automatically think, oh, what a shitbag.
right.
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 I mean, that's a much different word. I mean,
Right.
how that we've all, I think, probably been guilty of saying like, "Oh, I'd have sex with her," you know.
Not such good terms,
Well,
but
don't
yeah.
put me in
Right.
your boat, but
Well, no, but I'm saying that's probably more common as a locker room talk. But that's I'm not saying that's excusable, but saying that you want to rape somebody in
Yeah.
a jest in any matter, that's
yeah,
it's
that's
unacceptable.
fucking-
Yeah,
that's not-
all I'm saying is I don't think that his definition of rape was what it's truly supposed to be. And again, not defending it.
Yeah, but if you're willing to use that choice of words, then you don't understand how heinous that
No,
word is.
right,
That
absolutely.
is a point.
Yes.
Even if it's a slip of the tongue.
Right. When you really consider what that word just, infers, that's horrible. Absolutely.
And how many women were afraid to even come forward over stuff like this?
Yeah.
Like, this is a huge crime that, I'm glad the voices are coming out here because I've had, unfortunately, friends that this stuff like this happened to.
Yeah.
And it's very difficult for them to come forward. And some have never reported, some have never.
a lot don't.
I
So-
know,
Yeah.
and I'm glad there's getting voices out here right
Oh,
now.
absolutely.
Right.
So within Sammy Guevara, right? So that story in itself is the one that I think people can have a reasonable discussion about and probably come to different sides of it, right? Just his character, not it being bad. I think everybody agrees. It's
You going to
bad.
add the second chapter?
Well, that's what I'm saying. And this is where people are still fighting. Oh, Sammy's going to be back. The Spanish God's coming back. I saw you, Anaconda Vice.
It's not as the sex gods. They're not fucking changing that. Change that right away.
Yeah, they got to change that. But now, if you go to the same podcast, right, Brian?
Same one?
Same podcast that he said that on. They're doing your mama's so
Yo
fat.
mama gimmick.
Your mama's so fat. Your mama's so ugly. And what was the line, Brian?
He said, I don't have it right here, but
He
he said, your mom's black, so what does it matter?
No, he said your mama's black, so fuck her.
Or so fuck
yeah,
her, right?
Yeah.
So
That's
fuck
what he
her,
said.
Right?
Said your mama's black, so fuck her.
So if you are still on the fence about whether Sammy Guevara is going to sensitivity training and getting suspended, or if he's getting fired, I think you should probably change your vote.
And
to
I'm worried.
fired.
And I'm worried this isn't. We're not done.
No.
There's gonna be
Brother, no.
if he's stupid enough to, number one, voice this, number two, do it on podcasts. There are endless amounts
So
of stuff that's I'm sure
Yeah.
he said.
So it's different. I mean, of course, Jack Gallagher, he was just cut bait. They just cut him loose. See ya. Fucking get out of here. Sammy, on the other hand, they actually addressed it. AEW addressed it, put out a press release.
They
So
addressed the rape comment,
Well,
or was it all of it?
I think I don't even know. So this came out at 4:02. This is on their Twitter.
Do you have Sammy's tweet too?
I don't have Sammy's
Oh,
tweet. in
I
front of
got
me, but
Sammy's tweet.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
I got that.
But
So
AEW put out a release, and essentially, I mean, they were just saying that they're suspending him. His pay is going to go to the Women's Center of Jacksonville. His entire salary is going to be donated to them. So I mean, they're handling it at least. But
Yeah.
I mean, they are leaving out. Oh, I know we were going to go a different route, but another AEW guy, Justin Roberts, he was
Right.
another
Well-
one that's a fucking piece of shit.
Well, wait. Finish.
let-
Let's finish with Sammy
Sorry.
before
Yeah,
we
no,
go.
Fucking
that-
fired.
yeah,
Fired up, man.
yeah.
There's a
good.
lot to talk
Get him the
about.
fuck
So-
out of here.
Before Sammy Guevara issued the Twitter apology to Sasha. Well, actually, no, he didn't even apologize to Sasha Banks. He apologized to the AEW fans, but not to the person he said it about.
Yeah,
which
there was a guy named Roddy Robb who suggested that he should apologize to her.
Exactly right. But before he put that apology up, either he liked this tweet or he retweeted it. This is from Superbad Laney Sabian. This is why I can't with society nowadays. You can't even use hyperbolic, I think it means, or expressions.
Hyperbole.
Oh, hyperbole. Sorry, hyperbole or expressions. Sammy Guevara didn't really mean he wanted to rape Sasha Banks. It was an expression based on how sexually attractive she is. Like, holy fuck, people are so soft. Did he actually rape her? No. So
Who said that?
That was Superbad Laney Sabian, and apparently
Ignore all the names that she
Yeah.
combined of real wrestlers. It's not
Apparently-
anybody legit.
Right.
apparently he either retweeted or liked it like minutes before he did his apology, or like 20 minutes, or I'm not sure the time frame. What I understood is pretty close. So,
And there's more coming out now. Actually, Bus just said
Oh,
my-
did he?
more Sammy allegations. Someone tweeted out when Sammy Guevara harassed an underage waitress at a local show back in 2013, followed her to her car and had her pinned against it until my friend came out and saved her hand.
And Cashmere is saying, 11 says, Sammy's comments for me, if that's what he's going to say shit like that on the podcast, I can't imagine the shit he says when the microphones are off.
Right.
He knew it was being recorded. It wasn't a fucking secret.
And Cashmere says, when Sammy said that, it was the peak of the Me Too movement, too. What the fuck was he thinking? Apparently, that's when this podcast is from. I didn't realize.
It's from a few years ago, yeah.
Yeah,
like
so
2014, I think, or 2016.
Yeah. So if you were trying to defend him on the first run.
And this is one of the guys on the list that upsets me. I thought he had a long, bright future.
Yeah.
I liked the guy.
Yeah.
But I mean, so now a lot of people are saying that, Jericho is kind of his, mentor.
Yeah.
Kind of. Gonna protect him?
Yeah, but Jericho wasn't his mentor 2 years ago when he was acting like a fuckhead.
Yeah, I don't think Jericho's going to protect him.
so?
Jericho is the GOAT of professional wrestling.
He's smart, right?
He's smart. He's been around for a long time, and he's not going to allow some 20-something-year-old punk to ruin his legacy by taking up for him.
Have they taken down the Stampede Champion T-shirts with him on it, I wonder?
I'm glad I didn't get one.
The fucking
I almost did.
The
champions.
The Guns N' Roses shirt.
Oh, well, I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
But
Inner Circle's got to change.
Fuck. I mean, good. Get him out, but still, like
it sucks as a wrestling fan.
It's frustrating, and I can't even believe how all the victims feel. All these people that are speaking out. I'm glad that they are. I'm glad that they feel empowered.
So
yeah, absolutely.
I want to segue to the next guy that AEW released a statement of, not the guy that Brian talked about that they haven't, but I want to talk about Jimmy Havoc here, because AEW, much like Sammy Guevara, issued a statement that Havoc's suspended, right, Brian?
Yes.
And that he's going to seek counseling. And instead of kicking the guy while he's down, I'm paraphrasing here, they're going to wait and determine his fate after he clears counseling and stuff like that.
Correct.
Because he wasn't a sexual predator as much as he was abusive, physically abusive, right?
He was abusive, but no, apparently he raped a girl while he was dating.
Oh, I didn't see that one. Wow.
Yeah. But he was also essentially just psychological stuff. I mean, he would hurt himself. He would say that he would hurt himself if,
he seems like a Columbine motherfucker. I always thought that.
Well, now, I
don't even give a shit. Fuck him.
No, I understand what AEW is doing potentially, by not letting him go there, but you got to let him go. I mean, this is not him saying dumb things like Sammy did.
Yeah.
Where you can still, we'll debate over his future and see what else comes out.
Yeah.
We've already got some facts about Jimmy Havoc. Yeah, he's going to counseling and stuff. You should say we wish him well.
Yeah.
And we're not going to think about when his suspension ends or if he's going to come back. You should say we wish him well. That should be your period.
That's my problem with AEW's response to all this.
What's that?
Is that right now, in WWE as well, right now is not the time for these two brands to be trying to outdo each other on the responses or the way they release people. This should be unequivocal. You need to go.
I think they should. I don't think they should be suspended. I think they should be cut.
That's
loose,
what I'm saying.
I do think they should.
I feel like they're playing the sensitive card.
But still, I mean, they should.
If they want to pay for,
if they want to go,
Brian,
sure.
If they want to pay for Jimmy Havoc's therapy and counseling, great. Let him pay for it.
Yeah.
He should be released from the roster, not just taken off the page, not just a statement saying he's suspended.
Yeah.
If they want to say we're looking into it further after removing him from the roster, and we wish him well or whatever, I don't care what the fuck you do. These people right now need to be scrubbed.
Yeah.
I mean, we have entire promotions, Brian, shutting down because of this shit.
I mean, yeah. I'll go on.
I was just gonna say, no, I wasn't gonna say. I forgot.
You're gonna say
Lagana.
something.
Is where I was segueing to Brian.
I got you.
Oh no, if I own a business,
Yeah.
and I find out one of my employees is beating their child, well, I'm gonna call the police first, right? But second, I'm not gonna be like, okay, I'm gonna send you need to go rehab and or counseling, and then report back to me. No, you're fucking fired.
If you happen to be acquitted and everything is just trumped up, okay, maybe we'll talk.
Yeah. But in the meantime,
I have to distance myself entirely from you.
Yeah.
What about the company paying for some sort of counseling?
No.
Or afterwards?
I'm okay with that to a certain extent. I'm okay with that.
It's
if
their money
he's
to do
going
I know
to that,
WWE
if they're going to that spa you see commercials for, which they're lounging outside and having a good old time.
Yeah.
I don't want him at a 5-star resort. I want him at one of those
yeah.
where they're scaring him straight or something.
Yeah, if they care,
Grab my pocket.
if they really care, they would send them to therapy or whatever,
Malibu,
and
isn't there one
still
out there?
fire them.
Get them out, fire them. I mean, they're
That could
suspending
be-
them and donating their salary. So isn't that kind of
Okay, but even still, don't suspend them, fire them, donate the remainder of their salary,
right? There you go.
whatever was left on their contract. You want to do it that way? Since you're a fucking millionaire, Tony Khan, you want to do that?
Well, they did
go
that
ahead
with Sammy.
that's no. They're saying we're going to donate his salary each
They're
month
suspending
right.
him and donating his salary.
Oh yeah,
while he's suspended.
Yeah.
Right.
Fire
We're
him
saying
and
fire
say
him.
he's got a year and a half left on his contract. We're going to just give that money right now to them.
Well, they still have to accrue that money.
Yeah, but
Nobody has that cash on hand. I hear what you're saying.
do.
I hear what you're saying.
I have it lined in the wall
And-
at my home.
Yeah.
And if you have somebody like in Jimmy Havoc's situation, here you go. We're giving you a severance package to therapy. If you're legit, we'll help you out, but you don't have a job here anymore.
And it goes
And
beyond
that's
that too.
and that is a little bit for me trying to take the high road here on, being a better man, a better society person. Nothing to do to justify his actions, but I don't know where I'm trying to go with this, but at least they're saying, hey, get this. I don't know how he could avoid jail time if he.
Well, I don't think they have any solid proof. I don't know what the statute of
Well,
limitations.
The statute of limitations on the mental damage is eons.
I don't. Yeah, but not in the court.
Okay,
I
so
know.
I got
So,
a
yeah,
statement.
go.
I got a statement from Sasha Banks.
Go for it.
Earlier, I spoke with Sammy. He apologized, and we had an open discussion. Words like the comments he made, jokingly or not, have absolutely no place in our society. I don't condone or tolerate this kind of behavior. What one thinks is just a side comment can have a massive impact on somebody else's life and can send the wrong message. We have told ourselves we have to hold ourselves accountable for our actions and the words we say. And I hope this situation shows him that. I hope from this point on, in order for growth and change within our community to take place, we can continue to have these conversations. No person, man, woman, or child should ever be subjected to a feeling of fear or an unsafe environment. We all have to do better, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. It's a great statement.
But I think she put that out before all the other stuff. That's Sammy. I think that was just about the comment that he made about wanting.
Oh
to,
yeah, no, it doesn't. He's not released from the hook.
No, but I'm saying I don't think she was addressing the other stuff, like the racial stuff,
Right.
other allegations that are coming out.
Yeah, she's
now.
just talking about the rape thing.
Right.
So.
But yeah, of course, you were talking about it before. Dave Lagana from NWA, he signed because he accused of sexual assault. Wrestler saying she put out that statement again. I'm not going to go into
Do
all
you
the
think
details.
they let
but
him resign? Is that saving face in any sense that you resign versus being fired over this stuff? If anything, that's an admission of guilt in my mind.
Well, yeah, me too. I don't think at this point. I don't think they care. I don't think that matters. I mean, he was either he was going to be fired or he was going to resign. I think he was just pushed out because of this. I mean, 6.5, 12.
6 of one, half a dozen
Yeah,
of the
whatever
other.
the fuck.
So let's
Terrible, Ryan.
Let's transition here to another really big one. One that as a wrestling fan, I'm extremely disappointed about, and that's Velveteen Dream. So now, somebody give me, for those out there that don't know, Brian, can you give us the kind of skinny on Velveteen
I
Dream?
can because I read the full article.
Go
This
ahead.
is
Go
one
for
that
it.
I actually
ahead,
read
Go
on.
for it.
So there was reports that 19-year-old Velveteen in the WWE, Patrick Clark, Tough Enough winner, was
Runner-up.
was flirting with 16-year-old boys. There's one person that came forward that made a very strong case of what he's done, showed screenshots, just basically saying, let me see your physique, let me see other stuff as it would go on as he was being predatory.
Grooming. Is
Yes,
the term. That's
grooming is he was grooming him to be a victim, so to speak. And Velveteen continued to do this over time, promising, oh, I'll help train you. Let's work out together. I'll get you into the WWE, promising all sorts of stuff like that. This person, when he came forward, this is what's really damning for me for the Dream. When this person came forward, he found out that there was a group of people out there that were victims of it. And it went beyond just one.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, now we have Velveteen, and a 1916 is a big gap. But the way you're I mean, this is not a consensual love relationship where they dated in high school and one went off to college.
Right. One is already a grown adult and is going.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's trying to use his fame and the fact that he is an athlete to work his angle of let's work out and I'll get you to the WWE. The whole thing is frankly disgusting. I couldn't stop reading the article, but it disgusted me everything that I read.
A bunch of the ones that are coming forward, and the one that does it for me is there's this one where there's screenshots of blurred out, but Dream is sending just full on new to this kid, this 15-year-old.
Yeah, I mean,
boy.
Now, are these
it's
real?
not
I
just
heard there were some doctored ones.
So here's the thing, though. The dude that is claiming all of this, he tweeted it out, but there's also a tweet that apparently Dream tweeted out also. He said, Josh Fuller, call me back. That's the kid's name. Not a secret.
it was Josh.
Right. So, I mean, it's just
That was
weird
the
that
article
Dream
I
is
read.
also like tweeting out all this stuff. Like there is a connection. So he can't say that he doesn't know the guy because,
Right.
I mean, you have it on Twitter.
Yeah, the last time that Dream came out, it was a third party with no connection that could have got the picture.
Yeah.
Okay, there's a lot of evidence, and apparently there's not just Josh Fuller. There's others.
This is personal for me. I've hung out with Patrick, right? He's been around my kids, on many occasions. I've had personal interactions with this man several times, and to have him near my children, granted my children are girls, but so what? It is breathtaking for me. And as a wrestling fan, I'm saying I'm disappointed. As a human being, I'm utterly disgusted.
Absolutely. Yeah. The pedophile one. Him, fucking Justin Roberts. There's another ring announcer from MLW. What's his name? Mark Haggerty.
Yeah, Justin Roberts,
Cut loose.
16-year-olds in the UK, and Justin Roberts is in his 30s. I'm not saying that the age makes him worse, for going after that, but you can't claim when you're that old that you don't know better.
Yeah.
You can't claim that you made a dumb mistake or you were doing whatever. You're a man.
So-
you know better.
So Perfect 11 on the board. I know we're not reading you guys that much tonight.
Yeah, we're sorry.
I told him ahead of time.
So he says this is an interesting take. I mean, this is a fair take.
All right.
This is such a tough situation. Men are taught from such a young age that fame and money get you everything you want, and that sex is a conquest that other men respect. I 100% agree with that statement. I don't think it excuses anything.
No, but that's what we have to identify and change now.
Right.
Correct.
That's the whole point of this movement.
That is why this is the Great Reckoning. The Black Lives Matter movement gave so many people courage to speak up on so many different things. I told Kiara today, she was like, the speaking out thing's kind of flooding out the Black Lives Matter. I'm like, well, first, no, it's not even a little bit.
Everything's a tidal wave.
But you should be proud at this point that movement has spawned. I mean, there's political change, there's voting change, there's inequality, there's healthcare. Everything is on the table right now, and everybody's talking about it.
It's a mental revolution.
It is. So we're Perfect 11. You're absolutely right. But that should not give everybody a clean slate to start fresh right now because we recognize that.
The amount of cop shows there were out there with a dirty cop element in some ways.
Well, no, amount of cop shows that the good cops were still dirty. Their job was to hunt people, shoot them, and blow stuff up. I mean, that was their job to do. Just like 11 is talking, the popular kid on the fucking TV show, his job was to try to fuck the prom queen. I mean, that was
right.
They didn't have to say it. That was what his goal was.
Well, and I mean, you can also even apply it a little bit to wrestling. Like when we grew up, Rob, you had to do steroids if you wanted to be a wrestler. And you had to have that huge muscle tone. There was no Johnny Gargano. There was nobody like that in terms of the physique. So what society deems and what they send, we had HLA 20 years ago on WWE.
That's
So
action.
there's a lot to be said about this stuff and the way society changes. And I think, Rob, to your point, and why this is such an avalanche right now is because now is the time. We're in an election year. All these things are bubbling at the surface. Everybody's now got their voice. We're dedicating our podcast tonight, this episode, pretty much
To the world.
to talking about that. We, whatever our audience is, this is our platform. This is what we want to do with and say about it. Everybody is coming forward, even if you're not a direct victim, someone that is.
Yeah.
A friend, a something, a colleague. You've gone through it, or you may even just recognize your own ignorance to it.
Yeah.
Like now that it's in your face, oh, I didn't realize that. Like, oh, this person.
I think people are starting to. I think this entire movement of all these movements. I think people have always been like, my vote don't count, and I think right now everybody's saying, no, fuck you, my voice is gonna be heard.
Right.
And so that gives me hope that through all of this shit, including speaking out, that through all this shit that we're gonna end up better on the other side if we don't just kill each other first.
Yeah, but what happens if November nothing happens?
Things are already starting to happen.
Yeah, but I'm saying, what if
Confederate flags,
this orange
statues?
man stays in office
I can
for 4 more fucking years?
I can tell you my answer.
I don't want to go political on you.
No, it's fine.
We're here in Tulsa.
This show is an open forum tonight.
Right.
And I'm just going to tell you straight up. Me and Kara talked about it, and I sent the text the other night.
Oh, I remember.
And I don't know if you thought it was in jest or if it was not. Me and Kara had a serious conversation, 100% serious, and we both came to the outcome that if Trump wins election in November, we are packing our shit and we're moving to Canada.
Well, I mean, to piggyback off that,
Yeah.
every other country's response to an incident that did not happen on their soil has been tremendous. Their leaders have led that support or just supported whatever the popular efforts were.
Yeah.
But a lot has been done in a lot of different countries. Also, those same countries that are doing it right are looking at us like, get your shit together.
Okay. Let's go into Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts.
I guess I can play this now. Hold on.
Yeah, please do. Fucking.
Let's not forget about the Batman's nemesis.
Who?
Riddle
What?
me this.
Oh yeah, we haven't.
Oh yeah, we have. Well, that one's up for debate. Let's do Justin Roberts, sir.
All right, yeah. So his accusations coming from a 17-year-old dates back to 2000. And there's screenshots and DMs. And I think Adam mentioned it before, but essentially he's just kind of being pushy in the DMs for trying to get nudes, trying to get pictures from the girl. He's also saying that
also when the girls don't respond, he'll send another text like, "Oh, you still there? Oh,
Right.
Hey,
asking like what type of fabric her shirt is.
what colors?"
Yeah,
Like he's totally hinting, and then he just blurts out like, "I want to pick." Like he's like, "What are you wearing?"
calling
Oh,
her.
what color?
calling
Oh, I
her-
imagine that. I'm imagining it right now. He's fishing.
How old is she again?
She was 16.
17.
16 was the one that I was.
And he was how
looking-
old?
He was
Justin
in
Roberts?
30s.
At the 30s?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's completely unacceptable.
Like 100%. Fucking
Yeah,
disgusting.
There's no debate.
Well, and the girl that I read it from her vantage point. I don't know if you're looking at something different, but the girl was saying, she goes, 16 is legal in the UK, but that's not the point. I was a young girl who didn't know
yeah.
Right. That's what she said, yeah.
that I was being taken advantage of. I didn't know how I was being pushed this
Right.
way. As you say, grooming, Brian, is that the term?
grooming.
And
And
She had no awareness of it.
And he is old enough at that point to understand exactly what he's doing, and to also understand
And possibly a pattern of
that
it
she
for
doesn't
decades.
know. Yeah, he at that age you should know that somebody that age is usually dumb as fuck. And
Well,
I'm not trying to be
they're
mean
not,
there.
They're not adults, and I mean they're just fans of these people. They're wrestling fans, so
Right.
of course they're gonna.
I'm not saying she's dumb as fuck. I'm just saying at that age you're normally just naive to the world.
Right.
If
you
you
just think
thought
these
of-
people are being nice.
Yeah,
and,
if you're a fan of someone that thought they were a friend, I mean, think about that. If you thought they were a friend, like, and you're a fan, like I met David Robinson. He's not my friend. I'm a huge fan of him. I met him. He does great charity work, so I'm still a huge fan.
so
Yeah.
you're best friends with him.
No, exactly. But
You get
like,
him on a show?
imagine some of the people that have come forward that were fans that was manipulated. There's some pure instances where, and I've seen Kevin Owens helping out a child with autism or something like that and
Yeah.
supporting him and keeps tweeting and stuff like that. I've seen those, but I'm talking like the adverse effect, what we're seeing here.
Like Jimmy Havoc knocking the fuck out of the guy at the bar.
Right, a fan.
Like-
Yeah,
like
while he's
just
drunk.
the physical abuse too, and
Like,
substance abuse.
This is just, this shit is next level upsetting. As somebody who has a daughter,
Mhm.
I don't want her to fall victim. And as somebody who also has a son, I don't want him to ever think anything like
acceptable.
this is acceptable.
Right.
I just want
In
them
any
out.
way,
I want all of them fucking out.
Yeah.
Not even just wrestling. Like
everything.
fucking. I hope
yeah.
this like spread. Like you were saying.
Well,
I hope this spreads to other just avenues. I
well,
don't
when
know
we
what,
brought
but-
up Me Too, it seemed to affect only Hollywood there. It didn't spread out.
Right.
Now we're spreading. I wonder what else is going to come out. Are we going to start? Is each sport, is there going to be all these people coming forward for NFL players, NBA players?
Oh, if you think this is done, you're
I mean,
Yeah.
sorely mistaken.
That's what I'm saying. We're,
you think
we're
that-
not even close.
If you think the protests are done, if you think speaking out's done, no, that
If you
this
think
is.
COVID's done,
If you think COVID's done, this is not done.
Yeah, you have another thing busted.
I mean, people are just now. I mean, word
Whoa,
is just
that's
now
why we're staying
circulating.
away from you, Tulsa boy.
Oh yeah, no, I have no doubt.
Yeah.
You're gonna have actors and actresses even more than we already had with Me Too. You're gonna have fucking sports teams. You're gonna have politicians.
They all didn't a bunch of already his fucking people, Trump's people, test positive.
For COVID?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think 2 more came up, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I mean, as far as like accusations and stories, because again, what we learned from Black Lives
Yeah,
Matter.
Brian got sidetracked.
Sorry, I'm,
It's
yeah,
all right.
I'm
Well,
mad
well,
at a lot of things.
What we learned from Black Lives Matter is that space of time between Rodney King and cell phones where we couldn't see anything, cell phones made it where we could see everything, right?
But
Let me finish the point. And with speaking out, text messages, digital communication, and pictures, cell phones, again, are going to expose everything. And that's where it's going to start to lead. Politicians who once used to get away with shit, they're going to get hit with the cell phones now.
now I agree with you on the back half of that, but when you're talking about the video and stuff, there was lots of videos in the past. I've been seeing them all over the
No, I know
internet
that.
right now.
I know that.
And maybe they weren't seen by everybody, but I can't watch them. Some of them,
What
they're
videos? What are
just
you
so
talking about?
upsetting. No, just the way like you'll see, black children trying to
Oh.
play and the
The
abuse.
cops beating her ass for no reason.
Well, no, I'm talking about the older videos I saw where just the teen kids are like being mean and throwing
Oh, the
rocks.
bicycle
and stuff.
one?
The bullying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and bullying and stuff like that, just based on bullying based on race. But just the all I kept thinking is watching those children, and I'm like, their fucking parents taught them that. There's no way some of them at the age that you're seeing in the picture can have those thoughts. I remember thinking like Walter Mondale was the greatest thing ever. I don't know anything about Walter Mondale, but I was 7 and my dad was talking about him a lot. And that's who he voted for.
He's who Reagan beat.
So you know what I'm saying? Like you that's the type of example my dad set was to vote for a candidate that lost. I mean, I was never something like, there's your parent had to inject that level of I don't know what the exact word is, but that's a learned behavior.
Yeah,
is my point.
No,
That's the word I was trying to.
Yeah, you got it, Medine. You're getting there. You're getting there. You're making your points. Yeah. Hey, look. And again, we're going to go back into speaking out here in a second. But as Adam is saying, yes, learned. What this is the not just the Great Reckoning. This is the Great Reckoning, and I'm sorry, I'm one. Fucking deal with it. It is white males, man. We have been terrorizing this planet for centuries. Centuries we have been terrorizing and killing this planet, starting wars, raping women, doing whatever, stealing economies. We've been fucking doing it all.
Abusing animals, everything.
Abusing animals. I mean, white men have they have been the bane of the history of this planet. And right now, all those that white men oppressed for all those years are standing the fuck up and going, the game is over, motherfucker. It is my turn now.
And if you're religious, it's like they're going backwards against creation. They're destroying everything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So here's one that maybe we can have a conversation about.
Sure.
So Matt Riddle. So what Brian, give us the Matt Riddle.
So the Matt Riddle thing is
This has been going back and forth.
Yeah, because he's acknowledged the fact that
Wait,
he has
hold on.
communication- Yeah,
Hold
what?
on. Reagan beat Mondale in his re-election.
Yeah, it was the re-election.
Yeah.
84. I said 84.
Yeah, and the cyclist is trying to give me bad history. George W. Bush beat Dukakis. H.W. Bush, I'm sorry. Right. Go ahead.
So
Reagan beat Carter initially.
Initially, yes.
Hayden Carter. So Riddle has admitted that he has contact with this woman. So now there's this woman that's saying that during his time, I believe it was when he was in Evolve, she was on a car ride with him, and her to perform oral sex on, while there were other people in the car, and so Riddle is denying all that, saying that she's just kind of harassing him, and he's saying that she's been harassing for about 3 years. My wife knows about this and all that stuff. So
yeah, he said he was going to file a restraining order, but didn't because he didn't want to ruin her career.
Right, but she's posting. I mean, this is one that's still very up in the air. So I honestly, and I mean, about a lot of them, I really don't know what to believe. But I feel like a lot of the ones we spoke about tonight, there's a lot of telling evidence where I feel comfortable about talking about it.
And there seemed like some legit reports too that after that came out that said, hey, Riddle's debut tonight is going to be pushed because it's taped and they're going to figure something else out. Then it actually happened after he had his retort and said, I'm having my lawyers looking into this. I think, most of these assholes are fucking quiet as shit. They know they're guilty and anything they say is just going to be making it worse.
Apparently it happened more than once. This was, I guess, an ongoing thing.
Same girl?
Yeah, same girl.
Yeah.
She was an independent wrestler also. I won't say her name, but there's a bunch of screenshots and everything. And I'm glad that she's not holding any punches. I hope, and I hope that a lot of them I hope no one's like lying. You know what I mean? Like, I hope no one's like just making shit up just because they have an axe to grind against like a former ex or someone. I don't know.
He was acting like he dealt with this shit 3 years ago, and now she's just coming back up with it because of everything.
Correct.
That's kind of his take.
So are we still 50-50 on this one, though?
I don't know. I honestly, I don't want to say anything on it, honestly, because
the screenshots are the most damning thing I've seen against him.
And there's a lot, so I mean, not enough to go through, but a lot of them, I mean.
So hypothetically.
Yeah, what?
Hypothetically, if she is stalking him and all that he says, right? And he's clean whistle. Would he get swept up in this wave anyway? Just based off the allegation.
No, if he can exonerate himself, no.
I don't.
If he somehow, if any of these people that are caught up in this wave are able to exonerate themselves, I brought this up as a Syracuse fan. I kind of told you guys this other night. I'll make it succinct. But when all the shit with Paterno came out, Boeheim was caught in the crossfires because one of his assistants was implicated there. And they made it seem like it was brand new and that Boeheim hit it and all this stuff. And Boeheim came out in the public and was like, look, the second this was brought to our attention with this assistant, he was fired. It was a consensual relationship with an adult, not a minor, that he apparently was having with the assistant coach and the wife there. They had reported it to the NCAA, and, they did everything by the book.
Yeah.
And they severed ties. Boeheim has never been mentioned again in regards to the Paterno shit.
Right.
So I think, again, if you can come up with the proof, and there's enough proof out there, this is all fucking public record at this point.
Right.
Or is going to come out in some way, even if there's no legal ramifications. It's still going to be damning. And he's wanting, and the reason he's seeking legal counsel is to sue her for defamation of character.
Right.
If somehow he were to win that lawsuit, I think that would be definitely take his name off this list, Rob.
Well, what about Enzo? I mean, he was exonerated, but he was fired.
But Enzo actually got to work again somewhere else. He just wasn't brought back by WWE.
Enzo's a piece of shit.
Well,
too.
I know that. Yeah.
Enzo may have been exonerated there, but he had burned his bridges. He had done whatever.
Saying, they've fired people that have been exonerated. Not like honestly, I
so,
think if these keep coming out, I think they could just cut ties with him.
Yeah, they could. So with Enzo, here's how I see the Enzo thing. It's like, oh, he's getting ratings. He's good. He's good at his job. He's on the mic. We can't justify necessarily firing him. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, you're fired. You're fired. Yeah, you're fired now.
What my thing is Jack Gallagher acts immediately.
And I'm sorry, you're Levin's right. He got fired because he didn't tell WWE. That's right. Go ahead.
So real quick, if that's why he got fired, did Velveteen come up and say, "Hey, I've done all this"? Because Velveteen is not fired, and Jack Gallagher is. And I go check the tape. I've been a huge fan of Velveteen as a wrestler, as a character. I've liked all that, but I think he should be scrubbed.
Is he fired?
I think he should be scrubbed completely. At this point, until he exonerates himself, or until he at least offers up like Riddle did, or at least offers up like he did the first time. Remember the first time he immediately took to Twitter and said this was a third party.
Well, but
the pictures of me.
Maybe he thought it was going to be one time and he could scrub it off.
Right. Like you're saying that there is another time. That's fucking insane. There shouldn't be any questions about.
And he has not been fired yet. He's not been given the Gallagher treatment. He's been given the Havoc treatment. And we said earlier, we don't like that the Havoc has been given that treatment, or at least I said it. And I don't like that Velveteen is still in question of holding a job.
I guarantee you that today or tomorrow, there's going to be a big meeting with Vince, and they're going to start click.
So also, just going back to the Riddle thing, there's screenshots of woman that's making all the allegations with Riddle's wife, and so Riddle's wife. She's saying that Riddle's wife was aware that they were having relations. So it's not like this is like a secret. So, I mean, I don't know. It's just only screenshots with this one. That's why I'm like, I really don't.
Yeah.
I think it would be a huge gambit to sue somebody that has come out in this movement or come out as any allegations really anytime. It'd be a huge gambit to sue them for defamation of character if you can't completely prove your innocence.
Right.
Because you're not going to win that lawsuit. And it's going to damn
Some
you
people
further.
think they can, though.
Yeah, but
their ego won't let them think that they can lose.
In today's society, no. You're fucking stupid with cameras running everywhere, DMs, screenshots, everywhere you can do anything. If you think you're getting away with something,
do we think
gonna come out?
Yeah.
Do we think anything's gonna come out about Vince? You think Vince is Teflon here?
I think he's Teflon.
Well, you said this.
He's like the Orange Man.
Well, no, I think when you brought up politicians and stuff, I think there's going to be somebody that comes forward and flat out says, Vince did this, and it doesn't have to be Vince. It could be anybody major. So-and-so did this. I was paid $50,000 in hush money, which I regretfully took at the time. You know, whatever the fuck it is,
Bro.
Brian.
NDI, non-disclosure. NDA.
$50,000. Come on.
I took a payout. I regret taking to keep my mouth shut. I now wonder how many other victims were never given a payout, blah, blah, blah. And they would investigate someone's financial records and see, okay, here it is.
Yeah.
And it would steamroll from there. And you're going to watch some dominoes fall. The last 5 or 6 days, the dominoes are falling.
So you think it's a foregone conclusion that Vince is going to get called up in this?
I think it has to.
He already has, though. He had those allegations back in, 2017.
And he paid them off. He paid them. I'm sure
I didn't even hear about
them.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
happy ending stuff. Exactly. It was very brief.
No, not even that. He wasn't getting jerked. Oh, he fucking made advances at this chick is what.
Yeah, but that kind of faded real quick.
Right. That's what we're saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay, That's why you don't hear anything about it.
There's gonna be somebody huge in it, and I'm sorry to say, I 100% hope for everything that Cena is not implicated in any way here because of Make-A-Wish and all of that. I'm not saying Cena's squeaky clean by any stretch of the imagination. I'm saying I hope he is.
We talked about it, and I admit real quick that I kind of hate even doing thought experiments like this. But if there was going to be one that would completely not just crush WWE, could possibly crush professional wrestling,
Jerry Lynn.
Oh, it'd be Cena. Love him or hate him.
Well, I mean,
he is
love him or hate him. The Make-A-Wish and the stuff he does beyond the ropes is so amazing that's why it would crush my soul.
Yeah,
like to think that this person did all of this stuff and
but let's not wish it. It's not a real thing. So we're just thought experiment. All right. Anybody else of kind of notoriety? Patterson. Yeah, I don't know, man. Patterson. There's probably some skeletons in that closet.
So Perfect 11 says the truth. Vince isn't clean. Even just the fact that the Pat Patterson shit happened under his nose.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
Well, Mae Young too. I mean,
And he had to know all this shit.
Well, no. And I said earlier the whole Paterno stuff.
Yeah.
It was Sandusky that was the guilty party, but Paterno went down because knew about it and turned a blind eye.
Right.
and then he died.
If Patterson is the guilty party, but Vince knowingly turned the blind eye, or anybody is
What
the
about,
guilty
that's what I was gonna
party.
say. What about fucking Linda McMahon? She's probably seen it all.
Oh yeah,
She's seen it all.
she
Or
works for the
Stephanie.
Orange Man.
Right. Oh yeah, she's fucking double dipping. I bet she's been doing some. No, I didn't finish my sentence.
Are you saying she's like Cornette's wife?
No. Well,
How
Is
clean
that
do we-
the one we haven't talked about?
Whoa.
Oh,
No,
First
no,
of
the
all, let's clear
accusation.
that
yeah,
up.
we should
You
talk about Cornette.
motherfucker for saying it like that, because if you haven't listened to the experience,
Sorry, that's the way
he
you were presenting
clarified
it
it.
earlier.
No, that's
Yes.
not the way I'm presenting it. That's the way that the fucking idiots on
Rock
the
would be,
internet are.
Rock would be. Would Rock be bigger than Cena?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's
Yeah, he's
But
multinational.
he's-
Right, but what I was saying about the charity is why I say about Cena.
Well,
Like,
Rock's that way too.
All right. And
Yeah.
also,
Go ahead. I'm
with
sorry.
that wasn't Cornette, okay? It wasn't that he was. The thing with him is that they're saying that his power of position in OVW at the time, give bookings, give him top spots in the company, where
and then
they
it
had to
was
swing
joked
with,
about his wife.
not joked, but that's what this one person is making allegations about. But a lot of the time frame doesn't line up, because I mean Jim hasn't been there for a while, and this guy. So it's a lot of that. Plus, there's also a lot of people that are coming forward saying that I've had interactions with both of them, and I've never felt that in any way. But Jim actually he released a podcast today and explained a lot of it. So I encourage
now-
everyone to
Yeah,
listen to it.
but that's a big thing right now. Okay, you mentioned Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae,
Right.
And Candice LeRae saying, I'm shocked at all this, and kind of indemnifying him, not supporting him. The Cornette accusations, a lot of support for Jim. That this
And
is
his
not
wife too. I mean, that's the
right.
thing. They're kind of dragging her more through the coals.
It's crazy too. The guy you think would be the scummiest is going to turn out to be the angel out of all these motherfuckers.
Right. I mean, him and Joey Ryan fucking hated each other. And now, I mean, so now for both of them to kind of be involved, but Jim, I mean, he's obviously he's denying all of this, saying that this is fucking bull.
Well, and he even put his lawyer, similar to Riddle, he put his lawyer out there like, here's my lawyer.
Well, his lawyer is always around.
I know, but
Yeah.
I mean, again, like somebody, you have part of this is a little bit of, if it does come down to a legal thing, is going to be character. And when you have a lot of people like they are supporting Cornette right now as character witnesses type of thing, and all these others have nobody, people are distancing themselves from all these others. It makes me think and hope that this is just somebody trying to cash in on Cornette's name and current, I guess, ID.
Yeah. Okay. Any big ones left or?
Well, so officially, Impact just fired Joey Ryan, Dave Christ, and they suspended Michael
Oh,
Elgin,
Dave Chris, I forgot
which is
about that.
weird.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stories about him coming out. He's a fucking piece of shit. He's probably done his wrestling school, severed tie, or they've been completely separated from Rockstar Pro, big company in.
So the jury's still out on Riddle, and we feel positive
Jury's-
on Cornette not being guilty, but
I would
everybody else scumbags.
Yes.
Is that our verdict?
That's my verdict.
I mean, that's kind of where I'm at. But again, I'm
Yeah.
not really at a verdict just yet. I'm just kind of taking everything.
I don't
in
know.
that-
Some of them I'm at a verdict for sure.
Sammy Guevara, I'm done.
Oh, really?
Sammy Guevara?
I mean, I guess so. Yeah.
No,
I
I'm
have to be.
done.
I have to be.
Oh yeah, done.
have to
Done
be.
there.
I mean, I'm done with Velveteen. The as you made it easier to say, grooming
Yeah.
shit of minors there.
Mhm.
I'm done with Justin Roberts.
And that's another difference too with the Cornette thing too. Is it's adults. It's not like they were.
Well, yeah. Well, and consent is king in all these
I
situations.
thought you said context.
Well,
So
consent is too. If you say if a girl says, "Hey, send me dick pic," and you send a dick pic, then
Would that
okay.
be my dick? Because I'd rather send
Okay.
a bigger one.
I'm
So-
just saying there's a
What?
difference. And
Okay.
people having consensual sex is not anything bad, Brian.
Okay.
You
So
know what I was
he's
saying.
He's trolling you, dude. So
hate you,
I
Brian.
want to get to a couple quick things before we sign off. We're not going to get the Raw tonight.
Fuck
Oh.
Raw.
Yeah, we'll talk
What
about Raw.
about the Ninjas?
The Ninjas were fun. Street Profits won the titles. There you go.
No big ninja.
Wait, they won the titles?
Okay, here's what I see. Here's my Raw review. This is what I see as the potential Extreme Rules matches. Sasha and Asuka, Drew and Dolph, Profits and Andrade and Angel, Seth Rollins and Ray, Randy and RKO Superstar, or I'm sorry, Rated R Superstar. Shelton.
How can Randy fight Edge? He tore his pec.
I thought they were fighting.
No, man.
Oh, is
He's
it?
hurt. He's out for like
Is it
months.
Big Show in it?
He's out for like 4 to 6
See,
months.
I wouldn't even, okay. So
What'd you say,
anyway,
Big Show?
so that's it. So I want to.
Yeah, it's Big Show.
I had a question asked for me on our last show under the video, and I wanted to address that question real quick, as I said I would. There was stories coming out last Monday about when the Profits didn't go down the ramp and instead went behind the barriers and high-fived everybody, and
No.
and then Twitterverse fucking went crazy. Hey, they're, what the fuck?
I got mad.
Yeah, you got mad. Even Kara got mad. And people were like, what the fuck? Why would the Street Profits do that?
Social distancing, bro.
Yeah, then all these stories came out that the Profits, they went against.
It was an ad-lib spot.
It was an ad-lib spot. They did it on their own, and the backstage, it got so much heat in the backstage. Okay, let me just put it like this. I don't agree with necessarily having them go out in the crowd like they did. I don't. But number one, they're wrestling people in a ring. They're rubbing their bodies and breathing on them and spitting on them, and so that's kind of irrelevant there. They're all in the same fucking room and atmosphere. Second,
for hours.
the spot was not ad-libbed. They literally rehearsed that spot with the bookers, Vince and everybody, beforehand, and told them they wanted them to do that spot. Against objections.
Pre-planned.
Against objections, they wanted them to do that spot.
All right, so a problem.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah.
Apparently they weren't giving tests to everyone.
That
They were just
wait,
taking
wait,
their
now,
temperatures.
now that's why
I excuse me, I agree there.
yeah, it's not like AEW where they're high-fiving and stuff and can do that and are close to each other because they're getting full-on testing. They're not even doing temperature checks for everybody, Brian.
They don't have masks.
Yeah.
They're not allowed to wear masks.
You need to understand.
Remember, I believe that Kevin Dunn shit. Like, he has said, you're
Yeah.
not on camera, you're not in
Right.
there.
You need to understand that a lot of the wrestlers on that roster are doing things they don't want to be doing, but the threat of not getting booked, not making that salary is real.
I'll go stand in fucking Florida for 10 hours.
Oh.
I'll wear a mask.
Wait, but to be honest, I mean, it's the same thing.
So-
I've had to work as essential personnel with this. Why? Because I'm fearful of not having the ability to support my family.
No,
I mean, it's the same thing. It's not just
right.
WWE. I mean, this is a microcosm of it, but this is something that the whole world is facing.
No, I nobody's taking that away. The comparison point that was made in the question to me was that I threw a fit over Statler booping everybody's noses, which I did, but I did in jest. It was more of a, hey, it's COVID. What the fuck you doing? I didn't think it was like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, so you go with that.
Who was
but,
that, Bus?
But Profits did not ad-lib that spot. They were instructed to do that spot against objections.
Good to know. I wish I could hear them say that through my headphones.
And I guess we'll finish up here with Taker retires. We have a quick 5 minutes here and then roll out, or maybe less.
We got some good news.
Yeah, Taker retires.
No, the other news.
Oh, what's the other news?
The other news?
Are you gonna do that now?
I don't know. Or you could do it after the Taker thing.
Oh, Taker's retiring. There you go.
What
We're
good
done.
news?
We'll talk more about Taker next Monday. How about that? Because we can talk a long time about Taker.
Sure.
We'll do a
Good
Taker
news.
episode next Monday.
We want to end on a good note. We don't want to just
No,
be like, oh,
I thought we were
Undertaker's
waiting
gone,
for Wednesday.
Why?
If you're
I mean, I'm not.
Yeah, we got a big announcement on Wednesday.
We're gonna tease.
Our
we're gonna tease it.
our Who Won Wednesday show after it comes on 10:15 on YouTube, Twitch, Mixer, any other platform you're on. So
We'll announce it fairly early. You won't have to wait.
I tried
Yeah.
convincing them guys. I'm sorry. I tried.
Yeah.
Tried.
No, we're not.
It's 2 versus 1.
No,
Greg isn't around.
Brian, and I don't mean to be a dick about this.
Yeah.
Tonight's about not ending on a high note or ending with any positivity.
I agree with that statement.
That's
This is
true.
we're not trying to put a ribbon on this. We're not trying to put a bow. This is far from over. It may be over for our podcast. We're not going to devote all the time to it, but this is not this is not something that we're just going to be like, hey, final thoughts.
Right.
This is not ending. it doesn't even seem to be slowing down.
Well said.
No.
So, yeah, I mean, that's why let's let this show stand what it is. That's why
Yeah.
we're not talking about Taker. That's why we're not talking about Raw.
Yeah. And I'll let you guys know out there that listening who stuck through this episode. I appreciate that. I do. I think us being able to have that conversation with you with you not turning the channel is important. I think these are things that we all need to be talking with each other about. You know, and it shouldn't be. It should be me, a white guy, talking to another white guy that, hey, we got to stop this shit, right?
Well, and there's some people that are 100% innocent, and they're also ignorant. And maybe you just speaking out will prevent them from doing something down the road because they didn't even know or realize.
The best
or
part,
they'll even call somebody out. If somebody like Sammy has a verbal slip, they'll put them in check.
Yeah, get them the fuck out of the business.
the best thing about ignorant is it's fixable, right? Ignorance is fixable.
Oh, I thought you said best thing is
That is something that it said. It is. So
yeah, but that's a bad saying.
No, I know that's a bad way. That's not.
I was going to say. So, thank you for sticking with us through this show. We're definitely going to, continue to do the wrestling shows, to continue to, talk about wrestling. But these are realities of the world. So these may become more frequent conversations in the weeks to come because our actions are what everyone's actions are. We are in the world like everyone else, and we have a platform to talk.
Yeah, this was our reaction tonight to the climate, not to Raw.
And to be
not to
perfectly
wrestling.
honest, I've been
That's
kind of
just-
turned off from like this whole thing. Like, I mean, it's hard to just pay attention to watching wrestling and have real shit going on.
Yeah. So
between COVID, the election, Black Lives Matter.
So we're not saying we're going to stop being a wrestling podcast. We're just saying that, you should be prepared that these conversations are going to happen probably more often. Not a whole show, maybe not, This was we pre-planned to have this show be kind of our coming out.
Fucking fired up. I've been fired up for a couple days.
Been
about
pretty
this.
fired up. So okay. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight and having these conversations. And again, like Adam said, let's continue to have these conversations. I know I have in the past several weeks. I've grown as a person, I think. I hope so. And I hope you have too. And if you don't feel like you've grown as a person, then maybe you need to look a little harder because the rest of us are. And so just saying. All right.
Even if you aren't ignorant, you might be in some ways, just to learn it, just to observe it, just to see what it is outside the box.
So
unless you're racist, then fuck you.
Yeah.
I'll do.
I'll give I'll give Perfect 11 the last word here because he agrees with me. Agreed, Rob. And just like with Black Lives Matter, it's our job to educate ourselves. Women have to learn how to navigate a world of men. They don't know. They don't now. Is that right? Now have to be our teachers too. Oh yeah. Thank you. I butchered it. Good point though.
Yeah. Steeler Stout also said, "Thanks for speaking the truth tonight, guys. Good show. We appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. We're happy you guys are with us. All right. Mark Alagon's watching. That's cool. But love each other. Respect each other. Wear your fucking mask. Wash your fucking hands. Call your fucking grandma.